Hello everyone, I am Lauren Jean. I'm going to pull up my notes here. I'm excited to be in this group. I really am. Really any chance that I get to teach and speak about this and help myself grow, as well as helping you ladies grow. So, the topic of tonight's talk is your podcasting blocks for those of you who want to start a podcast, who have been thinking about a podcast, who might not even be sure what a podcast is, but you know and you've heard that it's good for you. It's amazing. All right, I can go in so many different directions with this, but I'm going to stick with tonight's topic, and if you want to learn more, you can find me in Passionate Pod. But so for tonight, we're going to be talking about the blocks, what might be stopping you, how to just get started, as well as my podcast workflow and the tools that I use to get started. And then I'm going to stay on and hang on for questions afterwards. So if you have any questions, please pop them down below. Hey, Brooke, just pop them down below so that I can see what you guys are thinking. And I'm actually going to pull up Facebook on my computer so I can see the questions a little bit easier. And here it is. Okay. I'm going to mute that so I don't hear myself talking. All right. So for tonight, let's get into what might be blocking you. All right. The most common thing that I get is I don't know how to start. And Brooke, I believe that is what you said. Okay. Of course you don't know how to start. This is the number one block. There are so many, and I'm going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks I'm going to go through. There are many more, but these are the ones that I get most frequently, and when people come into my group, I like to ask them. So I know I can see a pattern, what's really stopping people. Okay, so I don't know how to start. Of course you don't know how to start. Did you know how to start in a new job? Probably not. You had to be trained, right? So it's okay. You don't know how to start. You find the information. You're talking to me. You're here with me right now. My number one tip for just starting, this is not including your setup, but this is just starting to warm yourself up to a podcast, is start recording your voice. Simple as that. Hey, Jackie, welcome. Start recording your voice. You want to get comfortable with the sound of your voice, with just putting yourself out there through audio, because I know that it is difficult for some people, for a lot of people, to hear their own voice. So you want to get used to that. You want to understand that other people hear your voice differently than you do. This is proven. It has something to do with the eardrums, and I'm not into all of that, and I probably should be, but there's actually some scientific proof that we hear our voices differently than others. When I hear my voice recorded back, I feel like I sound like a 5-year-old girl. I don't hear that from other people though. Yes, Jackie, my voice, definitely not comfortable with it. Understand that you hear it differently. I'll tell you that, and I'm sure other people will tell you that as well. But that's a whole other thing. That's not included. I could tell this is going to go pretty long, and I hope you guys are okay with that. This is a training. I want it to be really thorough, and I want to help you get comfortable in taking that next step to start a podcast or think about it. Okay? So that's my goal for tonight, is to help you break those blocks so that you're open to starting something new, to starting a podcast. And if you guys are on here, let me know that you're here. Give me some, give me some hearts, give me some likes, ask questions, whatever. I want to know that you're here, that you're interactive, that you want to learn. And like I said, post your questions at any point so that later on I can go back and answer them, because I want to get through this first, and then I'll take questions. Okay, so you don't know how to start. That's cool. That's why you're here. Start recording your voice. That's the very first step. Now, to record your voice, you either have probably a Mac or a PC. So depending on what you have, you're going to use different recording software. If you have a Mac, type in Mac. If you have a PC, type in PC. Let me know what you guys have so I can see what different people are working with and how I can help them better. Now, if you have a Mac like I do, you have built-in GarageBand to your computer. GarageBand is a basic software that I've been using for 2 years. All right, you don't need to go further than that. And stick with simplicity. I teach simplicity in my programs. I teach simplicity in my group because we are all busy entrepreneurs. Some of us are working a job, like myself. I'm still working a full-time job. Less full-time now, though, I have to say. So it needs to be simple. And for those of us who are mothers, my God, feeling like adding something else on is a nightmare. It's not the way I like to teach you guys. So keep it simple. Start simple. If you have a Mac, check out GarageBand. Open it up. Play with it. Get used to it. Have some fun. All you need to do is hit the record button. You don't need to go further than that right now. Just get comfortable with recording and listening to your voice. The first step before you even consider getting into the other steps of a podcast. Okay, if you have a PC, I don't have a PC, so I have not played with these other softwares, although I'm going to. The other one is Audition, and the other one is Adobe Audacity. Adobe is a paid one. Audacity, I always say these wrong. Adobe Audition and Audacity, these are two for your PC. Don't mind me, I keep getting notifications at the top of my phone. I probably should have got rid of that before. So yeah, those are the 3 types of recording softwares. There are others out there, but stick with those for now. Don't do any more research, just listen to what I'm saying. I like to be simple, and I'm trying to teach you how you can accomplish this, even with all of these blocks, even with all of these other things that you have going on, because a podcast is freaking amazing, and your reach and your audience and blah, 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 blah. So many things, so many things. Okay, so what I have down here is the next thing. I'm going to really try to stick to my notes here so that I don't confuse myself. Okay, tech, scary, right? Microphones, scary. Everything's scary. Everything. It's really not. Really not. I am the least techie person in the podcasting world. All right? You hear about all of these bigger names, right? I stayed away from them. In the beginning, I tried, but I got scared. I honestly got scared. I wanted to know that I could do this. And when I have something in my mind, I know I'm going to get it done. But I want to get it done the simple way, the way that I can stick with it. So tech, if you are scared of tech, it's okay. Know that it is as simple as this. Your microphone and your computer. All right? Now, when I started in the beginning, I did all of this research because everything you hear is about microphones and all of this complicated tech stuff, and it really, really doesn't need to be. Actually, hang on one second. I'm going to show you. This was my microphone in the beginning. It's, an actual, microphone, right? Looks like a microphone. It's a microphone. It broke. Well, the wires did at least. I'm not a techie person, so I'm not going to try to figure out. It just kind of looks fun to sing into right now. You have a snowball? Awesome. You want to know what I use right now and what I've been using for a year? Yeah. Right here, my Apple earbuds. Built-in friggin' microphone, okay? It works like a charm. I got it with my phone, and every time I upgrade, I get a new phone. And I get them for Christmas, and I have them everywhere because I am a podcast junkie. I use them to record. I have them everywhere. So I did not go try to figure out why this thing is not working. I think it's completely dead now, but I don't use it. I haven't used it in a year. I was in the middle of an interview and my microphone stopped working. So I said, oh shit. Okay, what am I gonna do here? I tried this because I knew it had the built-in microphone somewhere in here. If you can see that thing, yeah, right there. All right, it's a microphone. to the volume on there. This is not on all earbuds. I'm not sure which other ones because I'm an Apple girl. So yeah, stick with what's simple. Don't freak out over the different types of microphones. Don't go out there and do all the research. Just listen to what I'm telling you, all right? If you're into microphones and you know this kind of stuff, then yeah, go have fun, enjoy it. But if you want to keep it as simple as you possibly can and spend the least amount of money, then use your Apple earbuds. I was actually telling someone in my group, a new member who came in today, he was a dude, and he asked me about microphones, and I told him about that, and he said, whoa, I can do that? I said, yeah, why not? So he's gonna try it and let me know, but it works. It works like a charm for me. And I love that I can do it that way, and I can make it super, super simple. Always simplify. So tech is not scary. It's really not. It is what you make it to be. I make it to not be scary. Okay, let's go into the third thing. How will I have enough content, and where do I find guests, right? This is what we're worried about. This is crazy. This is crazy, crazy, crazy talk. Another block, another excuse. Yet another excuse on why we're not starting a podcast. Content. Are you kidding me? Right? We are full of content. We're full of ideas. Think about everything that you have already done. Think about the blog post that you've written. Think about the posts in other groups that you have done. Think about those tiny little quote things that you put in other groups and on Instagram and on Twitter and everything. You are a creative entrepreneur with tons of ideas. What on earth makes you think that you're not going to have enough content? The minute I have a thought, I write it down. It turns into what? A podcast, right? A blog post, past blog posts that you've written. Everything that is going through your mind is content. You have a podcast. You have a topic. You might have more. My show, The Lauren Jean Show, focuses confidence, letting go of control and intuition. And I also talk about self-development. I talk about business development. And I talk about what? Podcasting. So, using my name has made it extremely easy to talk about all of the things that I love. And I'm working with a client right now, and she decided to do the same thing, because if you decide later on in your business that you want to shift directions, you still have your name. Your name is never going to change. So you're never going to have a problem. Document, don't create. Exactly, Brooke, because what you're documenting is your life, your experiences. This is how people get to know you. And by you sharing your stories and your wins and your losses and everything tied into that, this is your journey. This turns into your business, which is your passion. You put all of those things together and you have so much content. And you can then break those things into smaller amounts. So let's just say you have a blog post with, let's say 10 ideas. 10, I'll use my example, the 10 podcasting workflows, right? So just by example, that wouldn't be the topic, but I'm not good at coming up with things right on the spot. So I actually get pressured by that. So think about that. I could break that down into as many shows as I want. I could talk about one step for one show. I could talk about 2 steps in each show, and I could come up with 5 different shows. You can stretch this as long as you want, because the information that you have in your head is so extremely valuable. And you as a person, by starting a podcast, are able to elaborate on that particular topic that you're talking about, that particular, say, 2 points. You can talk and talk and talk. You can infuse yourself into that. You can share what you're currently going through in that show. So in my show, I have my intro, and then I talk a little bit maybe about what's happened during the week. If I have a story, if I have a share. People like to get to know you. They like to know the person behind the brand, right? This is what we are all known. This is what we're taught in like branding is people want to know you. You are your brand, not the name, not your colors, not your fonts, not any of that shit. But you are your brand. You're going to change, and your brand is going to change with you. So going back to content, you're never going to run out of ideas. You're never going to. It's not possible unless you die. Someone comes and kills you and your ideas are gone. Yeah, but for now, you are a thriving, creative, badass bitch woman in business for herself who loves what she does and is pushing forward every single day. So what makes you think that you're not going to have enough content? So Jackie, think about that. Also think about the fact that most podcasts have what? Interviews. Your guest provides the content. Your guest. Okay, so I mix it up a lot. In the beginning, I had a structure. I did, say I do 4 interviews a month and 4 of my own shows. Now I go based on what I'm feeling, my intuition. I really hone in on my intuition and what is telling me. So lately it's been 2 shows a week, a Monday and a Tuesday. So today I release one and tomorrow release one. But I change. My audience knows this because I let them know. I don't just throw things at them. I let them know what's going on. And I announce it, and I tell them. If I'm going through changes, I tell them. Right now, they know that I go based on how I'm feeling, because we all want to feel damn good in this world and what we're doing. So we need to do what makes us happy and what we know our audience wants out of us. And just flow with it. Just enjoy it, have fun, create the content, find guests that align with your message and what you are currently putting out there. So you might have a theme of the month, right? You can do themes too. You can do April is breaking into fitness or starting fitness again, and maybe I'm bad under pressure. Bad. June, let's just say it's barbecues. That's an example. Whatever you want your topics, your themes to be, you can use that. And I have a content challenge that I did with my group, and wow, the stuff that they came up with. It's amazing what you can come up with if you sit down and you put it together. Now, I'm kind of more of on the fly kind of girl. I plan out for the month. Sometimes I don't. Everything shifted in the way that I work. And a lot of people, a lot, you hear about planning and organization and all that stuff. I'm good with the organization. The planning, not so much, because I change so often. So depending on your style of how you work best, you might be more of a planned, structured type of person. I used to be that way. Didn't work for me. I go with my gut. But if you want to plan and you have a content calendar, this is a great idea, depending on what you work with, what style works best for you. Find it, play with it, tweak it, stick with it. So if you want to plan your content for 6 months, plan it for 6 months. If you want to do it for a month, do it for a month. But you're going to have enough content to get you through whatever time period. You're going to have more than enough. Because I swear, when you start having your podcast, once it's live, once it's up and running, every idea that comes through your head, you're going to want to talk about. And I can tell you this because I started working with actually one girl in my group. She decided she wanted to start a podcast. Boom, she had it up in a weekend. Okay? And I got a message from her the other day that said, everything that comes into my head, I want to talk about. She writes down everything. So the content thing, boom, let's just get rid of that right now. Get rid of that. You have plenty. You will keep producing crazy amounts of content that you can turn into your podcast, your blog post, your Facebook Lives, your Instagram, your Twitter, everything. Content is never going to be a problem. And if it is, then maybe you need to shift what you're actually talking about, because maybe you're not interested. Okay, let's get to the next thing, because I can talk all friggin' night. How do I know when the time is right? How do you know when the time is right for anything? For anything. I gotta turn the heater off, I'm sweating. Okay, so how do I know when the time is right? And I believe this is gonna go, right into the next one. The time is never right for anything in this lifetime, what I've experienced. I wasn't ready for a kid, and that just came to me. I didn't have a choice. I'm glad that that happened. It's a very extreme example, but the time is never right. We get comfortable in certain situations, and we are afraid to step out of that comfy situation, even though we might be uncomfortable. So, just freaking do it. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Just do it. If this is something that you've been thinking about, there's probably a reason. It's probably meant for you. It's something that you are ready for. If you... Where was I going with that? You wouldn't be thinking about it if this was not something that was on your mind that you wanted to do. So just think about it. You want to start a podcast, and your goal is to have it in 2017. When is the time going to be right? I can tell you, the time is probably more right now than it is in the summertime when you want to sit back and relax, or when September comes around and you're getting ready for the holidays and maybe starting new programs and getting ready for that January rush. You want to take time off for the holidays, right? November and December. I know that's what I want to do. I want to relax in the summer, and I just want to have everything flowing. This is the time right now to get your show going, because it's a slow, cold month. Maybe your business is thriving, but I tell you, the way I teach it, you are going to be blown out of the water how fast you can get this going. How fast you can get this going. It is easier than you think. I'm here for the support. That's why I'm here. I want to break these blocks so that you can get going finally. Stop procrastinating, because you're just going to be here, right here again, next year saying, my goal for 2018 is to start a podcast. And then you're not going to do it because of being caught up in all of these ideas and all of these blocks. I want to break these blocks now, and I want to get your butt podcasting and get into that flow so that you can just infuse your business and all of your content right into that podcast, because it feels so good. It feels so good. All right. Where will I find the time? You can find the time very easily. If you're writing, oh, thanks for all the hearts and the likes. I love it, guys. I really do love it. This is what lights me up inside. And you know what? This confidence right here, this not caring about what everyone says or thinks about me on here, has come from podcasting. There is no freaking way that I would have ever done anything like this without being comfortable with myself, with my voice, with what I have to say, with everything that I've created. So think about that. Confidence, shot right up. What the heck was I talking about? Oh, where will I find the time? Okay, so I'm going to break this down for you real simple, just like everything else. Just like everything else. All right, maybe you're afraid that you have a blog already. Maybe you have videos already. Maybe you have, I don't know, whatever else that it is that you have. All this social media stuff and programs running, and maybe you've got kids around the house, and maybe you are working full-time job too. All right? I've got all of that right now. Okay? The way that you can do this is to think about what you really want in your business. Think about what you have that's going so smoothly and put them all together. You are just taking your podcast and putting it into the mix. Let's just say you want to take a rest or stop blogging completely. Just think of your podcast as your blog, because all it is is a blog post with the audio in it. So you're basically taking your blog post and infusing your audio into it, which is your podcast. Your show notes that you hear of, you hear those podcast show notes, that is your blog post. So actually, let me pull one up here for you. If you haven't seen my website yet, I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. My shirt says that. Blah, blah, blah. See, I say that a lot. All right. So let me pull up. I am going to flip this around. All right. So this is my, right here, blogcast. I got the blogcast. I got the podcast. All right. So I've got the blogcast. Now, the reason I call it blogcast is because I have the blog and the podcast on there. Okay. So this is the very last episode I did, and that was actually today. I recorded that yesterday, Facebook Live. I turned it into a podcast. All right, there's another way to use your content. So this is the blog post. Go to the bottom, boom. There is the podcast right there. Okay, there's the pretty little player. So you have the blog post, and you've got the audio. Now let me find, there's the other one. I've been doing a lot of podcasting lately. Okay, so here is a blog that I did, 8 ways your podcast can give you a return in your business. This was actually a question asked by me, by the girl who just started her podcast in a weekend. All right, so I have this here, 8 ways your podcast can guarantee a return in your business. And this is just a regular blog. All right, so I have gone back to blogging when it feels right, when it feels good, when the hell I want to do it. So you are just taking that audio component and putting it into your blog post. And you're reaching a new audience, those who want to listen to you on the go, because they can. They can freaking listen to you on the go. This is, I haven't tried this yet, but Apple TV podcasts, right? You can listen to podcasts in your car. Yes, actually, it's 8 ways to guarantee. What did I name it? The hell did I name it? 8 ways to guarantee a return in your business. That one is just a blog, but I'm going to turn it into a podcast eventually. Duh, why not? Yeah, so what the heck? See, I lose my train of thought because I tend to go off. And this is why it's cool to have a podcast, because you can do whatever the hell you want. It's your own show. All right, yeah, so we're talking about where to find the time. I am telling you that you can just turn your blog post into your show notes, which is your blog post, yeah, with your audio infused into it. So yes, there is steps that you need to take to turn this into a podcast. But then in the end, you're having so much more content. I shouldn't say so much more content, so much more value, because you can reach many more people. And when I mean reach many more people, your podcast is not just up on your website like it is when you have just the blog post. You are in iTunes, you are in Stitcher, you are in TuneIn, you are in iHeartRadio and Spotify, and I can go on and on and on. There are so many ways that people can listen to you and reach you. And I'm putting benefits into here too, because I can't just talk about that and blah, blah, blah. It's boring. I need to give you the rest of the goodness so that you fully understand how important and how beneficial this is for you, for your business, and for your self-development. Because, I mean, you're an entrepreneur. We hear all about mindset. We hear all about fears and all about all this other stuff. Why wouldn't you want to do this? Really? I mean, maybe that's just my opinion, but I am here to share my opinion. I offered to come here to help you guys understand how powerful this is. And podcasts are only growing. There are podcasts everywhere. Starbucks has a podcast. I mean, think about all those NPR podcasts. There are so many different types of podcasts. You can listen to comedy. I have a great one if you want like a raunchy podcast done by a couple of guys. It's called Save It for the Show. I listen to this when I don't want to hear any self-development. I don't want to hear any business. I don't want to have to really concentrate. I just want to laugh my ass off. And also Two Dope Queens. That's a cool one. So 2 comedy podcasts. You got Two Dope Queens and Save It for the Show. Love those guys. And I actually interviewed Dan from Save It for the Show. I kind of got like a podcast crush on him. Anyway, so finding the time. You're going to find the time for things that are important to you. And if a podcast is something that's important to you, and for me it is, it's become my main platform, the most consistent platform that I have ever had, the most effective platform that I've ever had, and the most self-developing platform that I have ever had. 2 years going. And actually 2 years on the 15th of this month. So that's, oh wow, in 2 days it's my 2-year pod anniversary. Okay, so there are so many more, but I'm going on to number 7. Drop the freaking perfection. Can I curse on here? I think I can because you say bitch in your thing. So drop the fucking perfection and just start. We need to stop comparing ourselves. We need to stop looking outside of what we truly don't believe in. Stop looking for excuses to compare yourself. You know what you have to offer. You know that you're amazing at it. You know that you're an expert. Otherwise, why would you be talking about it? So, you need to stop comparing yourself because that will just kill everything. Everything. You really need to look deep inside of your heart and see what your values are and what you have to offer. People have scared me with how much time it takes. Okay, I'll go into that in a second. I definitely will. Yes, stop the comparison because that is just it's a buzzkill. Yes, give 0 fucks. 0 fucks. It's not much that I care about anymore about what people tell me. It's amazing what I can get accomplished now. So, I mean, I'm not going to go too much into that because I think we all know, especially since Brooke, you said 0 fucks. I love that. Let me pull up what's happening here so I can keep track of all of the comments that you guys are putting up here because I can't see it on my phone. It keeps disappearing. All right. There we go. Okay. Oops. Got rid of my notes. Okay, so, yes, that's pretty much everything. I do want to go into the podcast workflow and then the tools that I use. And I have a freebie for you guys. I have something for you at the end. I will let you know when we get to that. But let's go in. Actually, you know what? This will fit in here. Let's go into what Brooke wants to know. And then Brooke and Jackie are both saying that the editing is what's scaring you. Okay, it says, let me see here. People have scared me with how much time it takes. Someone said it takes her half a day to edit and load it. That is insane. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what she's thinking. Nothing against her, but simplify. Simplify. I don't know how perfect she's trying to get this, but when I say this, no one gives a fuck more than you do. So you need to drop, I said this before, drop the perfection. It should not take you half a day to do this. That is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Like, don't you have better things to do? This is something that I love to do. And I can tell you, all right, I did a Facebook Live last night, right? So that was about 30 minutes. So think of that 30 minutes as your show, as your interview, whatever it is. You have your intro, you have your outro, you have your template set up, ready to go. All you need to do is take that recording and tag it, and I'll go, this is all the stuff that I go into, but it's not scary, trust me. If you followed along what I have to say, if you believe in simplicity, if you believe in doing this podcasting thing and making it simple. And what I'm doing now, I wouldn't be here if I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. That I don't know why this angers me so much, but it should not take you half a day to edit and load it. But anyway, okay, so the 30 minutes that I did to record it, and I killed two birds with one stone. I did the podcast live in my group, and I recorded it at the same time. All right, then the next day, because I was exhausted at the end of the night, I went back and I tagged my show, and that took me, okay, maybe 2 minutes. So that's 32 minutes, and I'm bad at math here. So if I get this wrong, 32 minutes, and then I brought it into my templates, right? And I saved it, and I brought it into my media host. Where's the day? How? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. Wow. I don't know how many mistakes, or maybe she doesn't know how to talk, or she had a horrible guest, but that should not be at all. That should not be at all. I have heard of podcasters who do take crazy amounts, but these are people who want to look perfect. I don't care about perfect. I just want to get my true, authentic voice out there in a way. I don't have to do much editing because my audio is good, because I have everything set up, because my systems are in place, and because I know when I'm putting my show out. So I'm not really sure what that is. I really don't know. I'm lost. I have no idea. That it does not make any sense to me. When you take it and you have to upload your show, maybe 2 minutes. So that's 34 minutes. And that's just the recording. That is the tagging. That is the uploading. The thing that might take you the longest is writing your blog post about it. But there are different ways that you can do that. You can write paragraphs. No one reads it, honestly. If someone's listening to your show and they find that there's some like golden nuggets in there, make sure that you have those resources within your blog post so that they can just go and click. That's it. I know that when I'm listening to a show and I want to go back, I like to find easy ways to do it, and I want to provide the easiest possible way for people to get those resources. So you can do what I do. If you want to look at the website, thelaurenjean.com, you can check out how I lay out my blog post. Show notes / blog post. I will do a paragraph. Maybe I'll do a quick little what this is about, what is included, you know, maybe some bullet points of what you talked about, what they can expect, that kind of thing. And then the resources. And I don't follow a certain template. You can. If you're comfortable with that, you can. For the most part, I do bullet points and I do resources and then a little paragraph at the top. And that's it. That's it. It does not take a day and a half, or what did you say? A day? Half a day? Half a day? I don't get it. No, that's not acceptable to me. I don't get that. Wow. Okay. I hope that answered, and I hope that wasn't too nasty. I want to see if there's any more questions that I missed. If you guys have anything else that you want to say in here. Why is not all the comments are not showing up in here? I don't understand that. Let me see if I can scroll. Oh, I can. Okay, I'm going to make sure I got everything here. Okay, I think we've covered everything so far. Okay, so let's go into my podcast workflow, and these are the steps, and this is something that you guys are going to be able to get. Okay, yeah, no problem, Brooke. It was a larger post in another group, and I was reading don't read horror stories. My suggestion, obviously, is to not listen to anyone else but me. Honestly, because the bigger guys out there, they are just ridiculous with their podcast, and how they do everything is just so super complicated. And no, we don't have time for that. We're working, we're busy, we're moms, we're women who do everything out there. We're doing everything. Why do we need to complicate things? Oh, Jackie, I love you too. Okay, so let's go through this podcast workflow. And I am definitely going to be reading it off of here because I don't want to miss a step. When something becomes so natural to you and you can sort of take it out of your brain, but I don't want to miss a step. All right, so the first thing I said before when you're going to start is record your voice, record your interview. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is make the recording into an MP3 and save it to your computer. Now, obviously, I can't tell you how to do everything right here. This is my workflow. There's so much more that goes into it, and it's not complicated. Just get that. It's a learning process. Like anything else, it's a learning process. The third thing is you're going to drag your MP3 into your editor, which is your GarageBand, your Audacity, or your Audition, and you're going to edit. My editing consists of dragging it into there and attaching my intro and my outro to it, and then anything else that I want to include in there, such as if you're going to have sponsorships, if you're going to have commercials, if you're going to be adding a CTA or anything like that. Maybe you're going to say something about the previous podcast or the one after that they're going to be expecting. Anything like that. That's your editing. There really shouldn't be much more than that. Okay, once your edits are done, you're going to resave that file into an MP3 and you drag it over to iTunes, which is where you do your tagging. What tagging is, I'll tell you right here in a simple way. It is the metadata that is attached to that file to tell your directories the information that is within that file. So that is your artwork, that is your maybe any notes that you have attached to it, that is the artist, which is yourself, the name of the show, what it is, which is a podcast. All of those little pieces help make your show more visible to directories out there. Okay? So you're going to tag your show in iTunes. You're going to then save it to your computer, whether you're going to use Dropbox, which I highly recommend. I'm at that step now where I'm running out of space on my computer, so sending it to a cloud is my next step. I suggest starting with that. This is not something I was aware of, how much space that it could take up on your computer. The next thing is you're going to bring your file into your media host, and what your media host is exactly what it is. It hosts your media. It hosts your RSS feed, and your RSS feed is the link that you will use to put your show out to other directories. So this is the single link that all of your shows attach to. Every single one of your shows are going to attach in that link that is called your RSS feed, and that feeds off to all the directories that you're attached to. Okay, next you're going to add your details, which is your show notes, into your media host. So your blog post you put within your media host. And then you're going to schedule and publish. And then the last thing is you're going to submit to the directories. Now that 10th step, you'll only do the very first time. Okay? So let's just say iTunes is your first time. You're going to bring it into iTunes for the very first time. And then within the media host that I use, there are different what they call destinations that you can put your show out to, and there's some that aren't attached. Stitcher is one of them. Stitcher is different, so Stitcher has its own website where you can go and take that RSS feed and attach it. I know this might all sound like jumble to you right now and confusing, but yeah, that's what I teach. It's really hard. This is the step-by-step thing that I take you through within the programs that I teach, because I do tutorials, I do live streams, I do blog posts, I do all of that stuff to help you get to this very simple point. Okay? Tools that you need. If you have any questions, make sure to post them, because this is the last part of it. I don't even know how long I've been going here for. quite a long time though, I think. I don't even know what time it is. 7:45. All right, so almost 45 minutes. Wow, good for me. Okay, tools. You need your computer or a laptop. You need your microphone or your earbuds. You need your media host, which hosts your RSS feed. A quiet space to record. Your Zoom or your Skype to do interviews with. There are other options out there, but I say Zoom or Skype because those are very basic, and you can use both of them for free. Oh, you know what? I did forget to put one thing in here. If you're using Skype, there is a little piece of software that you need to buy for it. I think it's $30, and you can get that, and that is what's going to record in Skype. Within Zoom, you don't have to pay for anything. It's just automatic. So you're good there if you use Zoom. I use Zoom now because my Skype decided to stop working. So I went to Zoom, kind of like right around the same time that my microphone broke, my Skype broke too. So imagine that. Blah, 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 blah. Blog or your website. Okay, so if you're in business, most likely you have one of them. You need iTunes to tag your shows. You need a way to organize your ideas, your shows, your guests, whether that be written down. I used to write things down. I still kind of do because I'm a writer. I love to do that. Maybe you want to use Evernote or some type of calendar where you can put all your stuff in. Maybe you use Trello or Asana or something like that. Way to organize something. Of course, totally up to you. You need an Apple ID and a working email attached to that Apple ID. This is a way that Apple will contact you with any issues for your show, any updates that they're doing to podcasts directly or to iTunes that might affect your show. Then you need, this isn't really a tool, this is part of it, but I include it as a tool because you need it to get your show running. You can't do it without it. You need your branding for your show, so that's your artwork, your intro, your outro, your description, all of that stuff, okay? And the next thing I mentioned was your editing software, your Adobe Audition, Audacity for your PC, or GarageBand for your Macintosh. And I think that's everything. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I hope this was useful to you. I'm really loving doing these types of things, and yeah, my next thing, since my confidence has skyrocketed, is to get out there, to actually get out of the house. Wow, imagine that. And do some speaking, because I love doing this stuff. Yes, yeah, I really hope you did get some great info from this. If you guys want, I will post the link below to my freebie, which has the podcast workflow and the tools in it, so you guys can grab that. It's a download, free download. And also what I am offering now, that I'm going to be offering as of right now only till Thursday, but I might extend it, is it's actually a podcasting mastermind. I'm really excited about this, and let me pull up the details for you. And it's also on the website. It's under the Podcast Wannabe Mastermind. That's what I'm calling it. And I have never offered getting a podcast started so inexpensive before. I'm really excited about it. And it is it's called the Podcaster Wannabe Mastermind. And it goes based off of the freebie that I'm going to give to you guys right now. But within that, you're going to be able to get my full attention to answer your questions, to do live streams. You're going to have a Zoom call each month. So for the 2 months, I might extend it. It's kind of a testing period to see if this works, but it's basically the do-it-yourself program with the podcast workflow in it. So you're going to do it at your own pace, and I guarantee that if I can do this in a day, you can do this in 2 months with my help, my support, the Zoom calls, everything. All right, so you're basically going to get the do-it-yourself program in this mastermind group. You're going to be working with other masterminders who are brand new to this. Everyone's starting together. I'm going to open it up on March 27th, and I'm only offering it for $77. You can't find this anywhere else with a coach that is me. So I say you take up on this offer, start it. You're going to get the access to myself with any questions that you have. I don't offer this type of information in the group because it requires a lot of attention to teach you the proper way to do this. Okay, so you're gonna have full access to this brain that produced 2 podcasts already and working on a 3rd. So think about that. You're gonna get all of the information that you need, really inexpensive. $77 is a killer deal. I'm offering it. It's actually 75% off. So if you want to do this, just do it. Like I said, just freaking do it. If you like the information that I have and you want to just get started, it's the time to do it. Like I said, there's never a right time to do anything. So you're not going to find this anywhere else. You can find other things to do it all on your own, but they're not going to answer your questions. So that's why I'm saying this is a great time to do it in the beginning of the year, or the first half of the year. Let's get your show up by the spring. I can help you do that within 2 months or less, depending on, you know, your level of engagement, the questions that you ask. Everything is dependent on you. And if you want to do this, just freaking do it. Just get going. $77, killer deal. I have to say, I think I am offering a kick-ass deal. So if you want it, grab it. I'll post the link below. If Brooke is cool with that, let me know. As well as the freebie that I'm going to be offering to you guys. So super, super simple. And you can get more details about that. And I'll tell you, it is at my website, thelaurenjean.com. And you can check under the Work With Me tab. And I think that's the first one. Yeah, it's the first. It's under Work With Me. It's the first tab called the Podcaster Wannabe Mastermind. So let me know if you guys want this, and I would love to work with anyone who is interested in starting a podcast. Okay, if there's no more questions, I am gonna go do some bee schooling. Has anyone done bee school in here? I'm just curious. I did it 2 years too early. I had no idea. But I love Marie's stuff, and her program is just kick-ass. I love it. So I'm doing it for the second time when I actually have something to offer, something I'm passionate about. Now I'm just babbling on because I like hanging out with you guys. But my stomach's starting to growl, and I'm really wanting to get stuff. So you missed the deadline. Which deadline? The deadline for, are you talking about the deadline for B-School? Yes. Definitely need to do it. I'm actually thinking of becoming an affiliate for it next year and offering the podcasting with it. What do you guys think of that? I'm curious to really bring people through it. So, yeah, there was a deadline to start. I can't remember when it was. I actually had it, so I bought it in 2015. I froze? Am I unfrozen? Can you see that? Now I'm just making faces. This is what me and my daughter are famous for on Facebook, making faces together. I hope you guys really enjoyed this because I had a ton of fun really doing this. And this might be the longest that I talked on a Facebook Live. Yeah, I think it would be. I have to find out how I can do that because I love the program. But yeah, I want to do the affiliate plus the podcasting and a couple of other things because there's so much more that goes into podcasting than just starting a podcast. But this mastermind is just the podcast production and getting it live. There's so much more that goes into it. There's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of fun with it. And yeah, that's really it. So continue to post your questions here if you want. I will come back and answer them as we are supposed to be slammed with a snowstorm tomorrow. So I probably will be just hanging around by myself. No kid tomorrow. She's with her dad. And I'll be here to answer any questions that you guys want. If you want to go more into depth with this and you want me to come back and answer more questions, I would love to do that as well. If you guys want to come and get more information, come over to Passion to Pod. That's my Facebook group. of podcaster wannabes and podcasters who currently have a show as well. So you can come check out. I've got everything in there. I'd love to have you guys learn more about that. And I'm going to stop babbling now because my stomach really is growling. So thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. And I will check you guys out in the group. Bye.